This is FightFans Radio.
What's going on, guys? It's Jerwell P in the house.
I'm Real D-Dub-C. What's cracking, Jer?
Well, you know, living the usual life.
All right, that's what I like to hear, man. So today, big things happening. Like a couple minutes, 10 minutes about. We got Mr. Budo J coming in. For you those that don't know him, he runs Budo videos.
I love that place.
As well as, yeah, no, it's one of my favorite websites. He does a lot of things, actually. We'll find out more what he does. He has great show called Rolled Up. What is your personal favorite Budo Jake episode of Rolled Up?
I really like the Alliance one with Babs there.
Interesting, eh?
It was recent. I think he has a Marcelo one coming up. I haven't watched it yet.
I saw that it's coming up.
But I'm telling you, that'll be one of my favorites. And the Jeff Glover one, too, at the OC Fair.
Yeah.
OC Fair Challenge. That was a cool one.
My favorite ones, personally, I really enjoyed the Draculino one. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did.
And lately he has this one called Fear the Reaper. It's interesting to find out about different characters, but I really enjoyed the leg locks from the video because we're always BJJ people in general. We're taught to do straight ankle locks a certain way. This guy showed him many different ways. Just I don't know if they're legal or not for certain rules. So you wouldn't want to just try to practice a move you see and then get DQ. It'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. I like his Gokor. Gokor? Did you see that one? That was pretty cool. It was all like leg locks and stuff.
Actually, during the video, I don't know if you noticed, but he grapples with one of his students, and Budo Jake Achilles locks him.
Who?
One of Gokor's students.
Really?
Yeah. He was an Asian guy. He's in the video also.
Oh, I don't.
He pops his knee out.
Really?
Yeah, during the video. And you see him like, oh, sorry. But then they just, editing, it just keeps going. The guy rolls after. He looked fine. But, you hear, something cracked, man. So what it was been new with you?
Not much, actually.
No.
A lot of training more than usual.
Yeah, how's that?
Oh, man. It was really good. I started swimming. Swimming is really good.
How's that?
It's fun.
Did you do any of those swimming drills? The videos aren't out yet.
No, I couldn't do it with my friend there because he doesn't know jiu-jitsu, right?
What? You have a friend that doesn't know jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you find it weird having friends that don't do jiu-jitsu now?
Yeah, it's weird because you want to talk to somebody about oh man, I did this. Can I see something real quick? And they're like, what's this?
Every time you imitate, I assume this is a white friend of yours. Every time you imitate white person, you turn into a surfer.
Really? No, I don't. Do I really?
Yeah, honestly, you turn into Keanu Reeves from what was the movie? Bill and Ted's
Silent Adventure?
No, you mixed up three different movies there, but we'll get it one day. Yeah, but sometimes I find it awkward because when we get together, we've been hanging out for a couple hours before the show. The pre-show, that's where the real party is.
Yeah.
It's not the after party, it's the pre-show party.
I like the after party too.
It's
after
good.
Party's cool.
We go to Second Cup and plan for next week and amongst other things, talk shit about each other.
It's like a meeting.
Bring your umbrellas out because that's when we brainstorm.
Right.
No, but I hang out with them, and since we've been hanging out, it's been just jujitsu.
Yeah.
All we're doing is watching vids,
yeah,
listening to audio, reading about stuff. Speaking of that, let's put it out there on the air. Maybe it's another outlet people hear. We asked people to find black belts unknown, learn about them, let us know who they found. Some people, BJJ Addict Radio and BJJ Addict TV, those are two Facebooks that are linked to us. But on our BJJ Addict Radio, which is this show, we have our own Facebook. Go like us. We're almost hitting 100 already.
Yep.
Got our own YouTube channel. People did reply, which was very nice because when you're starting off, not too many replies on Facebook.
Yeah.
The Silver Fox was mentioned. I looked into him. Very interesting man. Black belt under Henzo. You yourself found someone personally, and you want him on the show.
Yeah.
His name, I don't want to mess it up.
Mark Hagbush.
Now, what is it about this man that you were interested about, or how did you find out about him?
When I started jiu-jitsu, I was looking for things I could put on my iPhone.
This is also how you found Marcos.
Yeah.
Yamasa.
Yamaso. And so I was searching up BJJ on iTunes, and they had a podcast, or not a podcast, but videos up. Instructionals, yeah.
Okay.
I think he might have been one of the first people that have something like that on iTunes.
It's still very rare.
Yeah. Anyways,
not much.
That and I think, what do you call that? BJJ Legends had some.
Yeah.
But
and Stephen Kessling, he had a podcast forever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty far back.
So I don't know if it's on there anymore. I tried because there was a few of the basics that I learned from there.
Okay. Well, what were some, just so people know at home, like if they can't find it, so now they know what was the basics that you learned from him?
Man, like the armbar.
Yeah.
The armbar, like close guard armbar, and he did a special, like a different way of doing the armbar.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cobrina underpass, not very basic.
Yeah. But he was showing that?
Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. So what was his name again?
Mark Hagbush.
So people go on Facebook, type that in, they'll find him?
Yeah, he's from Texarkana, BJJ. I think Texas, I think. Obviously, maybe.
Just being, pretty ignorant about geography, but just from the sounds of it, I would say, yeah, it sounds like Texas. Wouldn't that mess you up, though, if that was like...
In Japan?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like it's from Texas.
Texarkana.
It's on our Facebook either way. You guys can check him out. He was actually nice enough to... I think he posted a link to free videos on our Facebook. So if you want to go check him out, he has some free vids. Maybe he has the basic armbar, or maybe he has a complex Cobrina pass. Either way, it was pretty awesome. I didn't get to look into all the people that was sent, but I did look into, I can't pronounce his full name, but I know it is Silver Fox, as everyone knows him as. So maybe we'll reach out to him too, hopefully get to speak some...
get some knowledge out of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we saw the Pan Ams coming up September 25th. This is 29th, actually, so in 4 days. Some big names competing. What do you think about, like, the black belts not all making it out there, though? You know what I mean? Like, there's a 5-man division. I would love to see, because most of the time they're, and it's sometimes through Budo videos, you get to stream them online.
Yeah.
The only reason I would personally purchase it is for the black belt division or a couple browns coming up that I have my eye on. What do you think is just the timing, or do you think they don't care about that title as much as certain ones, or
maybe they're saving all their juice for the Worlds or something?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're thinking.
But you as a fan, like, that are keeping your eye on these tournaments, is it sad when you look into it and you see one of your favorite guys, but he's only in a smaller bracket?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see 4, 5, 6 matches of Kyle Terra, say.
Yeah.
And you might end up seeing 1 or 2.
Maybe that's a reason, too. Like, there's nobody to fight.
Yeah.
So if you're,
Do you think at those tournaments, like, elite level guys show up, so the mediocre black belts have nowhere else to compete? They go to smaller tournaments, so they're not going to get trashed? Maybe this is something we could ask this man right here. Budo Jake?
This is he.
How are you doing, sir?
Good. How's it going? This David?
Yeah, this is David. I'm here with also our other host, Jer.
Hello. Big fan.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you.
Oh, same. The pleasure's all ours. starting off, do you mind maybe giving us a backdrop on how you actually found your way into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, I've never been too big into sports, but I've always been into martial arts ever since I was a kid. My parents put me into karate when I was like 10 years old. So I've done a lot of traditional martial arts. It actually wasn't until I was 30 years old that my wife got me into jiu-jitsu. She wanted to try it, and I was all game for that. That was when Marcio Feitosa and Carlos Gracie Jr. just opened up their school here in Orange County, California. So I was one of their first students, and you know, like most people, once you start, you get bit by the bug, and I couldn't quit. My wife actually ended up quitting, and she couldn't complain when I started spending almost every day at the academy.
Well, she started you.
Yeah, that's right. Probably a rare instance of where a wife gets her husband into it.
That's a great story, though. Being at the headquarters of Gracie Baja, who would you consider your main instructor? Because there's too many big names to name that are involved with the Gracie Baja family, but who are your main instructors? That's
right. It's a tricky question because there's so many guys always coming in and out. For the first couple years, it was definitely Marcio Feitosa. After that, it was Kyron Gracie, and nowadays it's Otavio Souza.
Wow, those are some big names.
How many days a week do you train still?
Nowadays, about 4 days a week. I make it to the academy once or twice, and we also have mats here at the Budo Videos headquarters that coworkers and I, our friends, will stop in and we'll train here.
Speaking of Marcio Feitosa, one of my favorite episodes for a show that you have, we were talking about it before you came on, so the fans know, Rolled Up. What were your favorite episodes, and for what reasons?
Yeah, we've done so many, and every one of them has a special place in my heart. I always learn something and have a great time shooting that show. But far and away, the most enjoyable episode was the Guam episode, only because it was filmed in Guam. I mean, anybody that's ever been there knows it's a paradise on earth, and I definitely recommend going there. So, yeah, that was the funnest as far as locales. And as far as learning techniques and spending time with guys, it's so hard to pick, but I really enjoyed, Shembri, Paulson, Gokor. There hasn't been an episode that I haven't enjoyed, so that's any answer for you.
I can't wait for your Marcelo Garcia episode to come out.
Yes, I get my butt kicked more than any other episode with Marcelo Garcia. People often ask me, like, why do guys go so hard on me or whatever. I never want guys to go light. I don't ask them to go light or hard. I just tell them to go naturally, because I want people to see that this is the level that these guys are at. When you're watching them in a Mundials, when it looks like it might be a boring match, it's because those guys are both so talented. When you get a regular Joe like me, you can see how high the level actually goes.
How crazy is Marcelo's grip strength?
Insane. I've never felt a grip like that. I've never grappled with a gorilla, but if I did, I would imagine they would grip in a similar way. I literally could not break the grip. And he gives me some tips, which I won't spoil them, but if you watch the episode, you'll see, because I ask him, how the hell can I break your grip? And he does show how to do it. And but yeah, hopefully I'll have a little better chance next time I grapple with somebody with a grip like that.
I was just curious, I'm not sure if you had Budo videos before you started BJJ?
Yeah, we started the company in 2002. I was living in Japan, and I moved back here and took that opportunity to start the business. I was not doing jiu-jitsu at that time, but I was well aware of it. Like most people, I saw UFC 1 and knew Horst Gracie at that time, but didn't start jiu-jitsu until 2005.
Wow. So when you did start Budo videos, what were your main objectives when you started? Because there's no way you envision what's going on today and how heavily you're involved promoting BJJ.
Right. Yeah, definitely the company has morphed a bit. When it started, believe it or not, there was no DVD instructionals out. It was only videotapes. So that's why we chose the name videos. And Budo means martial arts in Japanese. So my sole purpose when we came back from Japan was to bring back the stuff that I was spending all my money on, which is traditional martial arts products from Japan, and sharing with the rest of the world, with the English-speaking world. So I teamed up with one of my oldest friend, actually, Budo Dave, and he has had a lot of technical experience, and we both worked together and got things going. But nowadays, since I'm so much into jiu-jitsu, that's why you see so much of our focus on jiu-jitsu-related media and products nowadays, of course.
Nice. And what were just some of your favorite DVDs that you did shoot? Because, I mean, it had to be a blast, the Glover or the Bill Cooper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Those guys are some of the funnest guys out there. It's just like a party working with them. Other guys that were fun to work with, Kyle Tara was great. He spent about a week down here filming his episode of Rolled Up and his DVD. Amazingly talented, friendly guy. Gokor is always fun to work with. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head right now.
Nice. I was actually curious because you're always in a unique situation being a student of Gracie Barra, as you said. And do you ever feel pressure to represent your school a little more? Or how do you keep the balance? And have they always been supportive of you doing what you have done? Because you go everywhere, 10th Planet, I mean, Alliance, it doesn't matter. You really shine the light on BJJ in general.
Right, yeah, they've always supported me. There's never been any issue with that regard. And I've always been, in my jiu-jitsu career, I've always been a student of Gracie Barra and Marcel Feitosa in particular. I've never paid dues anywhere else. I've never gone to another academy on a regular basis. That being said, I have been to almost every academy out there, and I've learned a lot. And I don't think I wouldn't call anybody else my teacher, but I've certainly learned a lot from a ton of different guys, and I think that was very valuable for me. But I think it's important, given my position in the industry, not to show a bias. And number one, I'm a fan of jiu-jitsu, and I don't care if Gracie Barra guy is fighting somebody else in a tournament. I want the best jiu-jitsu to win. Of course, I have a little bit of team pride, but more than anything, I see my role in the industry first and foremost over a team.
It seems like you've trained a lot with a lot of people, and they showed you different things. Do you think it's hard to retain some of the things that you've learned, or do you still drill some of the things that you've done in your show?
Yeah, I train about 4 days a week, 2 days at Gracie Barra and 2 days here at Budo Videos. And when we train here at the office, it's all about drilling the techniques that I've already learned. Because, if there's anybody that's been exposed to too many techniques, it's me. And I'll oftentimes have techniques in my head, and I'll be thinking too much and not actually implementing them. So I definitely think you can learn or be exposed to too much and spread yourself too thin. I mean, look at the top-level guys today. Most of the guys in competition only have a handful of moves, but they're really good at those moves. It's rare to see somebody that's awesome at everything. But I don't have any dreams of becoming a world champ. I do want to get good at everything, but it probably hurts me in the short run. But hopefully one day I'll be good at, very well-rounded with everything.
I was actually going to lead into that. You seem to always be having fun, smiling, really enjoying it. When it comes to competition, does a switch turn on, or do you turn into a more serious competitor, or are you still out there having a blast, just competing, just to stay active?
That's an interesting question. I actually didn't really start competing until I was a brown belt, and which I think is very unusual for most jiu-jitsu guys. But in my first competitions, I was very nervous and very serious. I didn't want to look at the other guys in the face because I saw them as my enemy, which is very different than my usual fun-loving persona. But I competed at the U.S. Nationals a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time that I really felt good and happy to be competing. And because I just reminded myself that I'm out there because I want to do it. I'm not out there because I need to or, for my image or anything like that. I'm competing because I want to compete, so it should be fun. So, win or lose, I'm going to have to go out there and enjoy it. I think that's the most important thing to keep you motivated over the long run. I already have a day job. Competition is not another job for me. It's just something I do for fun.
So, for those that don't know at home, what are other companies that you do run, just so they know?
Yeah, Budo Video takes up the most part of our time. But the other companies that I'm involved in is Nogi Industries, which makes rash guards, shorts, mostly stuff for no-gi training, and Kaizen Athletic, which is probably mostly known for kettlebells and strength training equipment. Yeah, that's about it. A lot of people think I'm part of the IBJJF. That's not true. Just been working with them for so long, and I do the commentary on the live events and do their show, IBJJF TV.
Speaking of that, I really think it is great, by the way. I was wondering how that actually, this is one of my questions, is this an idea that you pitched to them, or were they like, you're already covering the sport so much, how would you like to jump in?
Yes, Budo, Dave, and I both pitched the idea of IBJJF TV to IBJJF because there were so many good fights that were happening at these regional tournaments, and these guys were getting no coverage at all. I mean, you might see one or two pictures in Gracie Magazine a month later, but by then everybody's forgotten about it. So I really wanted some of the somewhat lesser-known guys that maybe only go to the regionals and don't do the bigger tournaments to get a little bit of exposure. And it's been incredible going around the country, going to all these regional tournaments. We don't go to all of them, but the majority of them we have covered. And you really get to see the trends in competition and the guys who are building their names. So it's not so much of a surprise when you see somebody do really well at the Worlds, for example, if you've seen them at a few of the regional tournaments along the way. And there's been a lot of great competitors. Keenan Cornelius tore up the competition in Atlanta, which that episode just came out today. But yeah, the regional tournaments have all been very good.
I agree.
Taking a look back, like you've been involved in jiu-jitsu for a while. Looking back, how do you think the game has changed in competition from now, like present day, until maybe in the past?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing for me is that if you look at some of the guys who are even blue belt world champs, those guys are awesome. And, of course, purple belt and brown belt. But the guys that are treating jiu-jitsu as a career at the lower belts really surprises me because there's not a lot of money in becoming a world champion. Of course, you can develop your name and open up schools and develop your career that way. But the fact that these guys are training 2 and 3 times a day, every day, that's amazing. And if you put any of the blue belt world champs up against a recreational black belt, I don't know. I'd have to think about where I'm going to put my money on that bet. I think the main thing is that I'm surprised and happy is to see guys taking it more seriously at the lower levels.
Good point. You've had the pleasure of covering a lot of live events. Who do you enjoy watching live, though? Like, it's different when you're just seeing it on a YouTube, but when you're in person, some people bring a whole nother energy that you can't feel through YouTube.
Yeah, if there's one name that comes to mind, it's Bushasha. The electricity in the arena when he faced Podolfo was just incredible. And not just that match, all of his matches, he's always just so athletic and always going for it. And you don't count him out until the ref raises his hand. He's always pushing the action. So if there's one guy, it'd be Bushasha.
With that being said, do you have him to beat Roger Gracie?
No, I think it'll be a great match, but I just don't see, and especially a 20-minute match, I don't see anybody that could beat Roger. Or maybe a lucky knee bar, but other than that, I think Roger oftentimes might get taken down or get his guard caught in the beginning of the match at worst, but then the roles reverse and then Roger comes out on top. I see that as I wouldn't bet against Roger in this one.
Nice. So also, I was just wondering, when you do something like you're doing, or even having a store dedicated to martial arts, are there some things people told you when you started that this is not a good idea or you weren't going to make it?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that I learned in business school, and so many people told me, was that you shouldn't do business with friends because it's hard to make a friendship last or things like that. But for me, it was exactly the opposite. I started the company with Budo Dave, who I went to high school with. So he's been one of my oldest friends, and because of that friendship, we had a lot of loyalty and trust, and I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else. And I wouldn't even want to do it, looking back, I wouldn't have wanted to start it all myself. Running a business is a huge responsibility, and to have somebody to share it with lightens the load quite a bit. So in my case, I would say starting a business with a friend is a great idea.
Speaking of starting businesses, have you ever planned on perhaps opening up your own academy? Or have you been an instructor?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So I was asking if you ever thought of opening a business, and then as a side, if you have not, have you ever instructed a class or run classes before?
Yeah, I basically run classes here at the office. It's not so formal, but I'm very comfortable with that. But as far as teaching as a profession, that's something I've done in the past, but it's not something that I really care to do for a career. I already have a day job, and I like to teach for the fun of it, but I wouldn't want to have to look at my students as my income. And at this point, I don't need another responsibility. I just enjoy training. I'd rather have somebody else out there. There's a lot more people more qualified than me to teach, and I'd be happy to just help out or just be a student. Always happy to be a student. There's always so much to learn.
Well put. So speaking of being a student, do you still go out and attend seminars?
Yeah, oftentimes when I attend them, I might be filming or leading a crew. So more often than not, I'm not partaking in it. But once in a while, yeah, I think there's a lot you can learn from seminars for sure.
Yeah, I was just wondering, who was taught the best seminar that you have witnessed or participated in?
That would be the Mendes brothers. That was the most incredible seminar I've ever been to. They break things down into the minute details. The instruction is top notch, and you know that they're teaching things that they have applied at the highest level of competition. And then at the end of the seminar, they lined everybody up, black belt to white belt, which there's probably at least 10 black belts and 10 brown belts, and systematically rolled and submitted every guy in the place. And there must have been 50 people there. And I thought once they reached the end of the line, that was incredible, but then they started the line back over and rolled with the black belts again. They went through the line 2 or 3 times. That was absolutely amazing.
What's the toughest time in your journey through BJJ so far?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's the toughest thing you had to face while doing BJJ throughout your career?
The toughest thing is dealing with injuries, because when you get injured, not only do you lose your ability to exercise, but you lose your hobby as well. I think almost all of us at some point in your career are going to have knee issues. I had one of those, dealing with a toe hold. So just being injured is probably the worst thing.
What are some future plans that you have for yourself, and then what are future plans that you have for your company?
For myself, I'm just happy being able to train and learn. Like I mentioned earlier, being exposed to so many different instructors, I realize how big the pool of learning there is in jiu-jitsu. I can't imagine when I'll be satisfied with how much I know. So I just want to keep on learning, stay injury-free, and being able to train and compete at the highest of my ability. As far as the company is concerned, there's still a ton more episodes of Rolled Up that I'd like to do. People are always asking me to film this guy or that guy. And, we're putting out about 1 episode a month, so eventually we should get around to just about everybody. But there's a lot of other countries that I'd like to go to and expose their jiu-jitsu to the world. We're doing more and more live broadcasts, which I'd like to do even more of those. So I don't know, it's just more of what we're doing, I suppose, would be the answer to that question.
Okay, that's good.
I was watching your Japanese episode. I think where was the place in Japan?
Yeah, the city's name is Fukuoka.
Are you fluent in Japanese?
Yeah, I lived there for a few years, and I started back. I did a homestay when I was in high school. Moved back there after college. My wife is Japanese. We go back about every year. So, yeah, I'm fluent in conversational Japanese.
That's unreal. I can barely speak English.
Japan's a great country, and it's an excellent place to train if you're a smaller guy like me. I'm 155 pounds, so there's rarely guys that are much bigger than me, which is a stark contrast to training at Gracie Barra, where most of the guys are around 200 pounds. So training with small guys is an incredible experience, and a lot more practical as far as getting yourself ready for competition.
Wow. How do you, you got to teach me how to do an armbar defense, because it seems like you're impossible to submit with an armbar.
Yeah. I get practice at defense. My best technique is probably my defense, because I'm relying with high-level guys all the time. And certainly, if you're going to compete against me, I would say to go for the choke rather than a joint lock. Yeah, I've defended a number of armbar. Next time you're in town, just swing by.
There's a reoccurrence of a question that usually myself or Jared will ask, but it's one that I think is good to hear from everyone, and that's advice you would give to a person starting off at a white belt or a blue belt level. What's some great advice that you would give to them?
The best advice I could give is, as soon as you start, set your schedule. Tell yourself you're going to go, I would recommend 2 days a week. And don't change that schedule for hardly anything. Unless somebody dies or you get sick, always go Monday and Wednesday, whatever the case may be. And don't let your girlfriend or anything change that. If you slow and steady wins the race, you don't need to go every day, but stay on a regular schedule, and you'll make regular progress.
And what's the best advice anybody's ever given you?
I don't remember. It's not really advice, but I really liked what Jeff Glover said at a seminar a couple months ago. He said, I don't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I do play Jiu-Jitsu. And to me, that just means that you got to keep it fun. I think it's Huron Gracie who's been talking about keeping it playful a lot recently. So to me, that him and Jeff Glover are saying the same exact thing. You know, nobody's keeping score in the academy. No one cares if you get submitted or not. Just open your game up, play, and enjoy. Nobody really told me that exactly, but that's what I've gotten from a lot of people, and it's what I try to do every time I roll.
Nice. What's harder for you, the running the business side or being an on-air personnel? Because that takes a lot of practice. How do you feel about being a reporter now for basically like an interviewer, not a reporter, I'd say, for the IBJJF, and I believe you also have your own show now, correct?
Yeah, we got another show called This Week in BJJ. It's a weekly show, live every Friday, available live on Budo videos, or it's also on demand on iTunes and YouTube. Yeah, for me, running the business is, well, that's the work side of things. You know, a lot of people tell me that I have the perfect job, and because all they see is me training and traveling around doing fun stuff. What they don't see is all the hours that go into work sitting at a desk, and that's the stuff that I don't always enjoy. I would much rather be getting exercise and training. But being on camera is something that just feels so easy and natural for me. It's not that I think I'm the best person at it, but if the cameras weren't there, I'd be having the same conversations with people anyway. So I never get nervous about talking to anybody because it's what I'd want to be talking about anyway.
Good point. I'm going to name some people. You just tell me what comes to mind.
Right.
Marcelo Garcia.
Gorilla Grip.
Kyle Terra.
Candy.
Draculino.
Lawyer. He's a lawyer. He went to law school, so for some reason that pops into mind.
Incredible episode, by the way. Another one of my top shelf.
Thank you.
DJ Jackson.
Frustrating, because I wouldn't want to be underneath him.
His top game is immaculate. Just as a fan, also, were you blown away by him coming in as a black belt this year and doing that well? Yeah,
like I mentioned earlier, a lot of guys only have a handful of moves that they're really good at, and I don't think DJ Jackson is. I mean, he's an amazing competitor, but I don't think he's as well-rounded as Lucas Lepre. But he showed in Atlanta that you don't need to be. All you need to do is apply incredible pressure and threaten to pass the guard. He never actually passed, but he won the match.
Yeah, with that being said, I mean, there's always that debate about top or bottom. But you personally, what do you prefer to play?
I prefer bottom. I'm a smaller guy, so I'm always going to end up there. And to me, that's what jiu-jitsu is more about. It might not be the smartest in the certainly not the smartest in a self-defense situation, but if you're training jiu-jitsu, you're usually training the bottom game. If you're training wrestling, you're training the top. So for me, I like the bottom.
Do you visually appreciate some of the more new school matches where they end up in the 50-50 or the nonstop berimbolo attempts? Is this something you actually visually like watching, or do you enjoy the different match? I would say, I don't know how to word it properly.
Yeah, I can appreciate the new style and the 50-50 game, but I don't think anybody wants to see a whole match of that. I prefer the free-flowing matches, and I think, judging from the crowd response, they do too. My hope is that in the future that they get a little quicker on the stalling warnings to get people in and out of the 50-50. Just holding on to it, as everybody says, it does get boring.
Yeah. There are some people that do use it very effectively and do not stall at all. But for the most part, like you said, yeah, there's a lot of stalling with that.
Yeah.
Have you ever planned on competing at the Worlds coming up, or since you started, is this a goal now by any chance?
Did you say at the Worlds?
Yeah, competing at the Worlds.
Not the adult Worlds, but at the Masters and Seniors Worlds, yeah. I'm going to do that one in a couple of weeks. But as far as the adult division, no, I don't. I want to be realistic. I know my place. My place is in the Masters and Seniors division.
Speaking of the Masters Seniors, is Budo Videos covering that one now?
Yes. It's the first time this event has happened in America, and we will be doing a live broadcast all day long of that event. Every match will be shown live on BudoVideos.com.
I am extremely excited to watch this, by the way.
Who are you excited to watch?
I saw some big names. I saw Victor Shaolin Ribeiro coming back.
Yep.
I don't know if he's still there. Marcos Terragrosa. We had him on this show a couple weeks ago, and excited to see him. I just never seen that many black belts per division, by the way.
Yeah, if you think about it, there's actually a lot more black belts at this event than typical because there's so many divisions. At the World Tournament, there's no Masters and Seniors divisions. There's just adult black belts. But at the Masters and Seniors Worlds, there's Masters, Seniors 1, Senior 2, Seniors 3. So you get a lot more black belts. Yeah,
I saw one division, I think it had like 14, 15 guys. I thought that was incredible. And I really enjoy seeing some of the Masters and Seniors compete opposed to the young guys, just because they're you could see they have it. Just they're very intelligent with what they do. So it's nice to watch some of the old school guys. Ricardo Almeida is actually competing too. I thought that was badass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Other guys in there like Brandon Mullins, Milton Bastos, Eduardo Tellez, Comprido, Gustavo Dantas, Frangia, Tusa, Hobson Mora also coming back.
Wow.
I haven't seen Eduardo Tellez in a while.
Did you say Virginia?
No. Hobson Mora, Tusa, Frangia, Alexandre Paiva, Gustavo Dantas, Comprido, Eduardo Tellez, Milton Bastos, and Brandon Mullins. Those are some of the bigger names.
Wow. That's unreal. Yeah, I'm super pumped to see that. One thing I would like you to do before we let you go is plug absolutely everything and anything you can so that the people listening could get to learn more about you and follow you on Twitter. Obviously, that's the most important.
Yep, you can follow me at Twitter at Budo Jake, also on Instagram, Facebook, Budo Jake. Also, we have our shows that are available on iTunes and YouTube. The number one most popular show is Rolled Up, followed by This Week in BJJ and BJJF TV. And we got the store, BudoVideos.com. Anything you guys need, we'll be happy to help you out.
I'm not going to lie, I go to Budo Videos, the website, so often. It's ridiculous.
Well, we thank you for that.
You should have a preferred customer card, perhaps.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Just throwing it out there. You could give me credit for it.
All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Is there anything else? Maybe, do you ever have events going on that you run, or do you stick to just promoting events? Do you ever have your own charity or?
No, not at this time. We just help promote the other events. But the next one coming up, Sunday, October 7th, as we were talking about, the Masters and Seniors Worlds, broadcasting live on Budo videos all day long, coverage of every single match that takes place for only $10. So I hope to see everybody there.
I definitely will. And good luck, by the way, since you're competing. Wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
All right,
thanks a lot.
Thanks for doing it.
Thanks, Jared. Thank you, David. Thanks for having me on.
All right, enjoy your day.
Okay, you too. Goodbye.
It's cool.
All right, guys, so there we go. We just had Budo Jake on. You guys learned, I learned a lot, so I'm sure you guys did. I never knew about the kettlebells.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I actually have one, if you can see, in my room, a kettlebell. I did a workout Saturday. Have you ever done any kettlebell workouts?
No, not yet.
Never?
I don't even work out, period. I hate working out.
Wait, you flip-flop, man. You're up and down like a toilet seat. 1 week you're working out, the next week...
well, it depends. I've been doing a lot of other, other than jiu-jitsu, I've been doing other physical activities. So.
Yeah, I know. I heard you ordering swimming.
Yeah, swimming.
Maybe
I'll get back to working out, but I don't know. Just don't want to get too jacked.
Too jacked?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Well, yeah.
All right, so that is ridiculous. Coming up next week.
Yes.
October 2nd. We have a man coming on, Luke Harris. Are you familiar with Hayabusa?
What's that?
It is a company.
It's a good company.
This man happens to own and run.
Oh, really?
Just recently received his black belt from Professor Robert Drysdale. So, I mean, that's a heavyweight to give you your black belt.
That's why he rocks the Hayabusa.
You're doing connections?
Yeah.
You know what? We might actually have a double booked episode for that, like on purpose. So you might have the pleasure. I know his interview will be a shorter one. He's a very busy man. He's got some training or teaching to do. But we actually are trying to get another guest on. It might be a superstar, or it might be somebody that deserves some damn respect and get some shine,
Yeah.
Up and coming black belts. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bounce it up on you guys, You got to keep it fresh and learn. Should we announce who else? We already did, eh? Who coming up?
Who else?
I don't even want to say it. Well, we already talked about it, I think, but I don't know if it was official. I don't know. I can't remember. I have a bad memory. 7 days ago was a long time. I actually forgot what I did 7 hours ago.
Yeah.
But I do know, yes, folks, Roy Dean is coming on BJJ Addict Radio.
I like it.
So that's the biggest freaking thing.
It's going to be huge.
Well, I mean, everyone's been big, but I just have a feeling about him. It's just, he's got this aura around him.
Yeah, I think he's...
I mean, we always talk about it. It's ridiculous. Like, he's on a weird level, like, his own level.
Me and a special man by the name of Jeet Jeet Shoes.
Constant shout-outs.
We were talking about Roy Dean and how he lived in, like, Japan and stuff.
Yeah.
So...
Speaking of that, Budo Jake living in Japan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Was he he just lived there, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He was a live-in student.
Yeah.
And in the dojo and stuff, so that's intense.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole different lifestyle. We'll have to learn more about that, and I'm sure we'll find out more interesting things about him. There are some other big names confirmed, but I don't want to give it all away. You got to have some sort of secrets going on here.
Excitement.
Exactly. So for our next video, we got to put one out very soon for the people at home. Good responses. Let's go over that for a second.
Let's do it.
We did a UFC 152 prediction.
Yeah.
I went 3 for 5. You, on the other hand, went 4 for 5.
I went 4 for 5?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
What do you think of that?
I don't know. We need more.
Yeah. We did have a longer version for the people that seen the video, but it was like 15 minutes, and we didn't even want to watch it, so we shortened it down to the main card. But overall, I went like 8 for 12. That looks more impressive, personally, I think, than 3 for 5.
Yeah.
Speaking of BJJ, connected to UFC 152, Vinny. Remember, like, I'm like, oh yeah, he's probably gonna be boring. He's probably gonna make it a stand-up fight.
Submission.
The nastiest armbar.
Yeah, but that's all he has, right? Or is it striking?
Is that all he has, really?
I didn't see his striking. I didn't watch that fight, but I heard about it.
Did you see the armbar?
No.
Holy, it was amazing.
Did he break it?
He held on. It seemed. I mean, I don't think he was doing it on purpose. It was like those spaced out taps. It's not like a fear for my life tapping. So, yeah. I mean, you hold on until the ref comes. That's the name of the game. You don't want to let go and have one of those awkward I didn't tap situations.
Especially
But he got stacked. Did how would you call that? Spin under or whatever?
Oh, like, yeah.
When you're being stacked, the proper
duck under.
Duck under. He's being stacked. He spun over and made him flip, right?
Okay.
So he taps him out this way. Personally, I don't know about you people out there. Let us know. Hit up FightFans Radio on Twitter, or myself, or Jared, or BJJ Radio, or BJJ. Who else felt a little mad that John Jones got the submission of the night? That's my question to you today. Because me personally, I felt like it was Vinny all the way. I don't know if it's because I dislike John Jones. Yeah, I said it. No, but I think Vinny, he had the better submission just from a viewer's standpoint. Is it because this guy's the champ that he gets it? That's garbage.
I don't know.
But Igor, I can't even pronounce his last name that good. Porkovich or whatever.
Prokrajak.
Prokrajak. He came out and he was saying Procryac. I believe in procreation. So Igor Procryac, he says, he's whining like, Vinny, his MMA style sucks. No one wants to see that. Try to grapple crap, take me to the ground. He's not a good fighter. He doesn't want to stand up and get knocked out, basically. Why would you stand and bang with someone?
It's called winning a fight, man.
Ridiculous. To be at that level and cry about someone wanting to go to the ground with you. Ridiculous.
Procryac.
Finally, I learned how to... That's, honestly, if someone wants to make some money, I should do this. I come up with the best ideas. But I think everyone should come out. There should be an MMA guidebook, names, and it should be hyphenated and how to pronounce the name.
Yeah.
If someone makes a book out there in this world that has everyone's weird last name that I usually butcher and show me how to say it, I would buy it so I don't look such an idiot all the time. So, what's popping now, though?
My elbows, my fingers.
So how's your responses been on Twitter lately since you sent out questions sometimes?
Oh, you get some pretty good answers actually from people.
I just love the way you can interact with people and ask them some stuff. So
yeah, trying to get Twitter blowing up here, trying to get some people to interact with us, because it's really we're doing this for the people, and it's nice to hear back from a lot of the. What's that one guy? Can't remember his name, but
we'll figure it out.
He's on the plane or something like that.
Yeah,
listening to the BJJ Addict Radio podcast.
Speaking of this, guys, I'd like to thank everyone listening right now. We've been consistently hitting a number that we haven't hit before for the last 4 episodes. So I'm really happy that the people are responding to the guests we're bringing on.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know if they don't know this, but you and me stress over this so much. Oh, yeah. Who to bring on. It's a constant back and forth and why we shouldn't bring him or why he would be good.
Yeah.
This consumes our next 6 days talking always wondering. We don't know until the numbers come out.
Yeah.
It always, like, even before this show, you know, I want it to blow up, and, you know, you can never, we can predict 152, but we can't predict these damn
numbers
for this show. We just finish each other's sentences?
Yeah.
We've been doing this too long.
We have.
So, also, quick recap for the people that don't know. John Jones did win, though. Retained the title. There was a scare, though, in the first.
The armbar?
Yeah. So, here's a question, actually, for you. You're competing or whatever, right? The guy's not tapping. You're cranking on this armbar, and something pops.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the ref doesn't know to stop it.
Mm.
Do you keep going till you get this tap?
Dude, first of all, you're winning. You're fighting for the championship belt. Break the arm and get the belt.
Look how passionate you just got up, like, another level. You, like, were sitting down. For the people at home, he was sitting down, and as I asked this, he stands up to give this speech.
No, it's stupid. You're a professional. Like, I love Vitor.
But the things that would have happened to Vitor following that win,
if you would be wearing the belt right now if you just kept breaking it.
Not only the belt, everything that comes along with being UFC champion.
Yeah. The fan base, everything.
Because after the debacle, I never use that word, I don't know if it actually exists, of UFC 151, which never happened, so I don't even know if I should call it that card. John Jones, everyone wanted him to lose. So can you imagine, like, honest to God, though, he has it, he says he feels it pop, and he lets up. I mean, you already popped the guy's arm. You might as well go ahead. This guy's dumb enough not to tap.
He needs lessons from, what's her name? Ronda Rousey, man. He needs Ronda Rousey as a sparring partner.
That's well put.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of that, you just said Vinny only has an armbar, and then you just named Ronda, though. Who do you think? That's a question also. If you guys want to just type in Ronda or Ronda or Vinny to us, we'll know what you're talking about. I'm gonna say I still go with Vinny, but who do you think has a better armbar?
Vinny Magalhaes.
Yeah, so we're 2 for 2. Is that how you say it?
2 for 2.
Both of us choose it.
Yeah,
Vinny. People at home, if you think we're wrong, tell us. We love interaction.
But I like how she breaks the arms, though. It's like...
Well, that's what you do, right?
Because if
it's a match where you're going to win. Like, no one's ever punched someone and saw them they might go out, so I'm going to stop punching them.
Yeah, if you cringe during a submission, you know that submission's good. You know?
Yeah.
So
I personally, though, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
This is my advice, actually, to you guys now.
Yeah.
When you're competing in tournaments, just go for it. Don't let go. Break the arm, whatever. Wow. Now, this is going to sound super douchey, but I was at a competition before, and I actually lost on points. And it was in Montreal. And I got this guy in an armbar triangle. And I broke his arm, actually.
What?
I popped it. Yeah, I popped it. And I was like a white belt. Like, it was my first 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And I popped his arm. And I let go. And he passed my guard, mounted me.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So from that moment on, I was like, what the hell just happened?
I hear you, and I'm still I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't know, man.
Break it.
It's vicious.
Yeah, you're in competition, man.
I hear you, but this guy's got to wake up and go to work the next day.
Yeah, if he's stupid enough, he knows that. You know,
I guess I would tap. So
yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna tap and you got work the next day,
I guess they say tap, nap, or snap.
Exactly.
But you honestly going out here and just telling people break somebody's arm?
Yes, I'm gonna be bold and notorious probably right now, but
you're ruthless.
I'm ruthless.
Are you trying to take over that Charles Sonnen BJJ spot I've been talking about?
Yes. I'm thinking being a douche will make you popular. So yes, break it, people. You're
already number 2 contender for a title in the UFC just by this douchiness you said.
Thanks. right, John Jones, I'm gonna break your arm. I'll do the things Vitor didn't do to you.
You know what though? Like, I'm sure someone's gonna come out and say that type of stuff. But like, yeah, honestly, it seems that's what you got to do to get the title shot lately. It's not much about winning streaks.
No.
Real quick, I don't know if you know this. I'm a huge fan of MMA. I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love talking about it still. So, do you know that the Strikeforce card has been canceled?
Oh, with Frank Mir?
No. Yeah, actually, he got injured, by the way. No, it was the Gilbert Melendez Pat Healy fight.
Mm-hmm.
Melendez gets injured. They cancel the card.
What? He got injured?
Yeah. But do you want to know why they canceled the card?
Why?
Because Showtime, the station or network, says they don't want to put on a card if Melendez is not fighting. The undercard, let me just pop this up for a second. The undercard, in my eyes, I freaking enjoyed it. Like, I actually like the people that were on this card. So, canceled card. By the way, I know he's not listening. If he is, there's someone knows him, tells him, or I'm going to actually just tweet it.
Go for it.
I feel bad for fucking Pat Healy. This guy, first of all, gets his title shot after being on the undercard because, like, they don't want to promote this guy. Excellent fighter. Great fighter, and this happens. I feel really bad for him. Also on the card, George Santiago, well-known, tremendous fighter. Josh the Punk Thompson, just coming off, like, the best trilogy in my eyes. That's personally my favorite trilogy in MMA, him and Gilbert Melendez. George Grugel's on the card, Mike Kyle, Mizuto Hirota, Yuri Vilfor.
No, Sean Burrell.
You know what I mean? Carlos Fodor. And this is not good enough for them.
Yeah, we talked about doing an interview with an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we should do an MMA interview, but I'm afraid that these guys are gonna cancel due to injury. It's probably true, yeah. The
injury bug is a plague right now.
Ridiculous.
It's actually ridiculous. Coming up, also, I don't know if I told everyone on air, but I probably did. I should start keeping track what I say. I'm gonna write notes. What you have told the people.
You ever re-listen to?
You just cut me off.
I did.
All right, I will let you speak, and then I'll go back to what I was gonna say.
Did you ever re-listen to old episodes?
I'm not gonna lie. I tend not to try to listen to myself because, I don't know how the people do it at home, but I get aroused when I hear my voice. That's the only reason. Yourself?
Yeah, some. Yeah.
And your personal favorites listening to?
Oh man, there's too many.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. One I like. Yeah.
You know what I did the other day? I went on iTunes and I rated all of them 5 stars.
I don't think you're supposed to admit to that. Everyone at home, go to iTunes and rate our show 5 stars. Type in FightFans Radio or BJJ Addict. It'll pop up. What I was going to say before you cut me off, like a rude ass, was that I told everyone, I believe that I'm going to reach out to all the pros in BJJ, well-known, even some MMA fighters that do BJJ, and give us their Metamoris picks for all the super fights. I believe we reached out to like 40 on Facebook, right? At least.
Yeah.
Not all of them responded, but we did get a good handful, at least 10 or 12, I think. I'll be putting that up on bjjaddicttv.com. bjjaddicttv.com. Should I repeat it once more?
Twice more.
bjjaddicttv.com. You'll have people's predictions from everyone from past guests, Sergio Machado, Pete Roberts, Marcos Llamosa, to personal local friends of ours that are in the industry, like David Aguzzi, David Avalon gave us his predictions, and many more. Me and Jared also will put our predictions out there. I know we don't hold the same recognition as some of these people, but we got opinions too. You ever hear that? Like, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
With that being said, guys, tune in next week. Owner of Hayabusa's on. Also, we'll probably have another guest that will keep it secret, but we'll keep it real. So hopefully people will reply on Twitter to the questions we asked them to. And find out about, the curtain's closing. Running. Say your tag, Jared?
Let's do it.